It's the most average show in the most average way with your two average guys. It's Average Sports by Eric and Ty. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't listened to the show before, we're going to delve into what's happening in the sports world and really just clue you in on what's happening. If you've been out not knowing what's going on with that team, this team, that sport, well, we're your guys. What's happening, Eric?
Not much, my man. I'm excited to be here. Another week doing the show all average style.
Can you believe it? This is about our 15th show. We're almost there.
Yes,
We're cruising right along.
I know, man. Yes, we are.
So shout out to anyone who's been tuning in to us. We appreciate you. Let's get right into it. What are we not talking about in this show?
We're not talking about the ESPYs.
Yeah.
ESPYs went on tonight.
We're not going to talk about it. ESPYs. Moving on. How about that World Cup craziness? Woo! Congrats to France. That was not the team I wanted. I picked Croatia early on in group play, and that was a disappointing finals game. I will just leave that on the ground as well. But what'd you think?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I picked Brazil, and then, of course, like the second after I picked Brazil, they lost to Belgium. So that didn't go super well for me.
I loved watching Brazil go down against Belgium, and in that match, it was the most ridiculous soccer play. And I know that might be a stretch, like everyone takes a dive and it's dramatic, but Neymar was in the box, took a dive, clear as day, and they were about to go to that VAR. The ref was ready to was pointing, and he goes, "Oh, okay, never mind," because he was the one who fell and took the dive, and there was clearly no penalty. They were going to give him a yellow card had he tried to continue the argument. That, I think, was the quintessential worst play of soccer for the entire tournament. A superstar just acting a fool. That's all I can say. Oh, well.
It happens, man.
Yeah, and Belgium, though, taking third, and Croatia going into second. I know they wanted to win the cup, of course. Only the 9th country ever to win, but still a great run for those guys. No one was picking them really to go that far.
Agreed.
How about Wimbledon? Did you watch any tennis?
I watched a little bit of tennis. I definitely watched the finals. We actually got a chance to watch it together.
Yeah, we did.
So we watched the finals of Wimbledon together, and I did see the highlights of the Isner and Anderson semifinals. Dude. So that was insane, that tiebreaker.
Yes,
it just kept going.
Oh, man, I was watching it live. If you're not a tennis fan, that is the kind of match that can get you hooked. Just watching game after game after game. 6.5 hours of tennis. Are you kidding me? That's athleticism. Forget about NASCAR and golf. Those are long sports, but damn, on your feet for that long and playing your heart out. Those guys were incredible. So hats off to both those competitors. Even though Anderson lost to Djokovic in the final round, Djokovic won, I want to say, he's won a handful of times at Wimbledon. I thought second or third time for him. But so, that's a good comeback story as well for him. And then how about Kerber on the women's side taking down Serena Williams? That was also another final that wasn't that exciting, but still pretty cool to see Kerber go in for her first win. And that just only means, though, promise for Williams coming in for the future.
Totally agree.
Well, we got some big trades also to talk about. Let's get into that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we had two big ones that happened today. Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan switch spots. So Kawhi heads to Toronto and DeRozan heads to San Antonio. It's a little interesting on how that one, I think, overall is going to play out. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more in our topic, so I'll save that.
Sure, let's table it.
Yeah, and then, me being a lifelong Orioles fan, fortunately, Manny Machado, well, I guess fortunately because they got something out of it because he wasn't going to re-sign. But Manny Machado is on the move.
Which everyone was calling. I mean, it
Dodgers.
Was time. It was beyond time. It was like 2 years after time. And Manny Machado not being in a very big market, if you're not familiar with how this guy plays, just a little insight, that WAR stat that's come out in the last several years to be really, it's kind of like a Moneyball stat, right? Wins above replacement. Yeah. That guy on career is 30.9 games above his replacement. So he's an asset. Even if he's not hitting career 300, the guy's going out and making a difference.
The guy is arguably in the top 3 baseball players in the major leagues at the moment. You would obviously put Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and Mike Trout probably still leading the way. But Manny Machado may get more money than Bryce Harper this offseason because Bryce Harper has been terrible this year, and Manny Machado is crushing.
Yeah, hitting all those home runs in the Derby is not going to get him $400 million.
No, Manny Machado will get $400 million before I think Bryce Harper. Because Manny Machado is the better player.
All right, let me ask you this, my friend. If Manny Machado is going to the Dodgers now, the Wild West is kind of now back open on both leagues. Do you think the Dodgers have a real chance to win the division with that asset?
I think the Dodgers have to be the favorite.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. The Dodgers have to be the favorite. I mean, you add the premier piece to any asset. I mean, he's going to be the lead free agent this offseason along with Bryce Harper. Both of them will be. And you just added that to your team, a team that was struggling early on because of a lot of injuries, but is getting those players back. They've really bounced back. This team is all but set for the World Series.
Interesting. That's bold,
now,
man. All right.
Anything can happen in the playoffs. If they don't win their division, it's very dangerous for them. If they can't win that division, they're going to be in that wild card. That's going to be very dangerous for them. But in a series, I'm going to take a team like the Dodgers that has a lineup. There's a lot of protection all over it. It's not like you can't pitch walk Manny Machado. I mean, there's plenty of other people there that are going to be able to bring him in. So. The Dodgers are all but set, I think, for the World Series in the National League.
My cage is not rattled. I still am going with Arizona. I think they're kind of now a sleeper. No one's really paying that much attention to them. They could still walk away with that division, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll touch base on that later. How about we jump into the topic of the episode, which is what we should look forward to in the 2018-2019 seasons for NBA, little NHL, and of course the NFL is right around the corner. Man, I was looking on my TV guide. Not the paper one. I don't get that anymore.
Is that even still in production?
I don't know. That's a good question. But the first preseason game, I think, is in the first week of August. It's already here. Baltimore's
I know, man.
Play. It's crazy.
It's already here, man. Yeah, Hall of Fame games right around the corner. Terrell Owens won't be in attendance, in case you didn't hear.
No, I didn't hear that. What's happening?
Oh well, he's not. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He's not going this year.
Oh, okay.
So. He's doing a speech elsewhere.
Yeah, that's dated joke, man.
Not dated joke. He's getting into the Hall of Fame this year.
All right, fine. What about Ocho Cinco then? Is he making it?
Oh my God!
Remember when he wore that blazer? Everyone remembers that.
Ever since
all right,
he wore that
moving on to more
terrible.
relevant stuff that's actually happening. We were teasing some NBA. Why don't we start with those guys again?
Yeah. So. The West is clearly the side of things that is going to be very difficult to go through. The West, obviously, with Golden State, you still have Houston. OKC is still going to be half decent, being able to keep Paul George. The Lakers are probably going to be a playoff team, nothing to really fight over, to be honest. LeBron is LeBron, but he's not going to be able to go through the West, I don't believe, this year.
Oh, but they're making the playoffs, though. They're going to go in
they're making
like a 4 or 3 seed, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah, come on.
So it's the West is tough, man. The East is weak. So, I think you still look at someone. I think San Antonio, even in the West, is still a good sleeper team. I think they can still win 50 games.
Well, of course. So we were talking about the DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard trade. So DeMar's coming into the West, and he. To me, looking at, again, just a stat-to-stat comparison, these guys are playing the same position, and they're just going to – you're just swapping essentially the same part, just a different face on these teams. So, yeah, I think you're right. The Spurs can certainly be a force to reckon with. They're going to do all right.
Yeah, I don't think that DeMar DeRozan is – a centerpiece for a championship team. I don't think he can be the guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't profile in the NBA as like a current, shooting guard. He likes to drive the lane. He likes to be down there, but he doesn't really take a lot of outside shots and things like that. And maybe that's something that Popovich can kind of change in his game and get him to, get some more open looks, on the perimeter. And then that could, definitely help with LaMarcus Aldridge down low to be able to dump the ball down to and give them a little bit more of a dynamic kind of look there. And then moving Kawhi over to Toronto, as long as he's willing to play there, because early reports of that trade say he's not excited to be there either. Yeah. We'll see if Toronto flips him or if they really try and push all their chips in to get past Boston. I think they're better than Philly at the moment with Kawhi Leonard, but I don't think they're better than Boston. So I think they're going to really have to push hard if they want to go all in for 1 year, because Kawhi's a free agent at the end of the year. I think that's something that they could do.
Okay.
But the East is a pretty clear path. It's not a difficult road, let's be honest. So
yeah. Well, going over to the NHL, that's the first season to start for this year, the newest season, I should say. What should we look forward to in that sport?
Well, the two that I look for is one that you mentioned when we were talking pre-show about the Vegas Golden Knights, and then the other one is Toronto. I think Toronto is signing Tavares is huge. There's a lot of young talent on that team with Matthews and Nylander, and they're going to be a good team. Are they going to be cup ready in 1 year? No, they may have a couple of pieces because the East and the NHL is super tough. Washington and Pittsburgh are good teams. I think Florida's a sleeper team. Don't sleep on Florida. They got the most points they ever had last year, and they still missed the playoffs. They're going to be a good team. So keep a little pin in them, just to watch out for them. But then is Vegas? Vegas made some moves. They signed Paul Stastny, and
wow. So they're going to be tough again, is what you're saying.
They're going to be a good team. I don't think people are going to sleep on them like they did last year. So we'll see if people are ready for them. Yeah. I think they'll still make the playoffs, but we'll kind of have to see how that plays out for them.
In hockey, pretty much everyone makes the playoffs. Come on, Eric, get real. And as long as the
basketball,
Vegas,
man, half the field.
I know everyone's in, and as long as Vegas keeps doing those pregame shows, my goodness, man, that's the worth the price of admission right there. Just go see them for that.
Medieval times, baby.
How about the NFL? What's happening there?
I think what's exciting about the NFL is that you have so much parity. So I think that's one of the tough things to look at in the NFL is who's going to be good, who's not. I think there's going to be some improvement, of course, with many teams. Some of the teams to kind of look for is, look at Dallas being able to bounce back, especially since Ezekiel Elliott will be there an entire season.
Right, without the drama.
There's still drama in Dallas. So
without so much looming suspension, though. I think last year that was a top topic.
Definitely was. So, then look at, out west. Look at the, Los Angeles Rams. Who would have thought that,
Indeed.
That garbage dump that they had here in St. Louis, whether it was by Jeff Fisher's doing or, Stan Kroenke, that son of a bitch, his doing. They're a good team now, man. They just signed Brandon Cooks to a 5-year deal.
Sure. They're going to be solid, and as long as Gurley stays healthy. They're going to run away with a few wins for sure. How about that other team in Texas, though? Do you think Houston can stay healthy this year?
Here's the thing, man. If Houston stays healthy, they're going to be a good team. But Houston has not been able to stay healthy, and in particular, J.J. Watt hasn't been healthy in like 3 years.
For real.
He's the best player on any defensive line in the NFL, but if he can't stay healthy, what good is he doing? So I think Houston's good. I like Deshaun Watson. I'm really excited to see what he does this year, and we'll kind of have to go with that and see what happens. He was very exciting last year, so we'll see if he continues. I think you see a drop in Seattle. I think Seattle actually takes a big drop down, and look for San Francisco to move up a little bit to maybe 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah, lots of good stuff to be excited for these new seasons, and the best part is when all the teams are starting at a tie with everyone else. No one